Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to be going over the Ethereum fiat valuation as well as the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation. So if you guys like the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up just to help me out. And also, if you want to discuss these charts, then please check out my Telegram channel, which you can find in the top right-hand corner of your screen, or you can find the link to it in the description below. And then if you also want access to the premium list, you can check that out at intothecryptoverse.com. So let's go ahead and jump in. So, I would say, okay, the videos that get the most views that I do typically are Bitcoin videos. But the number one requested video, I think, is the videos that I make on the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation. So let's go ahead and jump into this video because we're just going to be doing, we're just going to be showing an update. Everyone who's been following this channel for a while knows, what we were going to expect based on the current market conditions, and then we're just going to talk about that systematically throughout the video. So first, we have the price of Ethereum versus time. This is our fairly standard chart, and then we show, normally I show first. I usually show when Bitcoin's above the 20-week, just the 20-week. But now, since we've been above the 20-week for a while now, and we're also above the 50, I'm just showing you, the performance of Ethereum when Bitcoin is both above the 50 and the 20, or if it's below either one. Could be below the 20 or below the 50. And some people seem confused by that. Sometimes I'll get questions saying, well, how could the 50 be above the 20? But of course, if you think about it, this makes sense depending on what happens in the short term versus the long term. This is the whole idea of crosses between moving averages. So this is what we had the last time I made this video. And we said that, well, Bitcoin's above both the 20-week and the 50-week, and we can look at historical data and see that it tends to see a spike when that happens. And this is what we had last time, and then this is the update. So you can see that since that last video, we said, okay, likely going to go up in the short term, with regards not only to fiat, but also with regards to Bitcoin. So this is our fiat. So again, this was the move, and this is this is what we expected. The next chart is our Ethereum Bitcoin valuation. So this is, I would argue, is even more important than its performance against fiat, because the argument is, why hold other coins if you could hold Bitcoin and do better? Well, you could hold other coins at certain key milestones with respect to what Bitcoin's doing, and do significantly better. Ethereum is the poster child for that. Look at the performance during the last market cycle. Now we know that this metric does not always work in terms of the upside. If Bitcoin's, when Bitcoin went from 4K to 14K, Ethereum was losing valuation with respect to Bitcoin. It was still going up with respect to fiat. But for the most part, when Bitcoin's below, Ethereum underperforms Bitcoin, and when it's above, it tends to overperform, but not always. We can see there was a case over here. But anyways, we said, okay, well, this was still early on. We were still bleeding out. Now we have our we're hopefully in our accumulation phase now, and that we would hopefully like to see this continue to move up. This was the chart from the last video about a week ago. Now here's the updated version. So you can see as we toggle between each one, we're really starting to spike up, and we're doing it in a way commensurate with what we saw before. The same, basically the same slope in a sense. Really starting to spike up here rather quickly. This is the reason why I show these charts fairly frequently. Again, is because people tend to request them. The Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, usually a couple days after I post the video, someone's asking for an update. I said, well, there was a video 2 days ago. But then the response is, well, there's a lot has happened since then. So here the update is, it's business as usual, as we've said on some of the other videos with some of the other coins. Again, this is what we were prepared for. We've been talking about the 20-week moving average for a long time. And now that Bitcoin is above it and it's holding, healthily above, we're not even close to the 20-week moving average right now. Ethereum is starting to shine. And as I've mentioned, I'm slowly, it's not a lump sum type game. I slowly move into Ethereum. I always hold some Ethereum, but I continue to pick up more Ethereum every week that goes by that Bitcoin remains bullish. And like we said earlier for another video on ADA, which has been performing really well, as long as Bitcoin stays where it is or goes up, then that Ethereum is likely to do well. If you see Bitcoin go back down to the 20-week, then of course Ethereum is also likely to see a drop in the short term. So that's what you want to be on the lookout for. We'll show just this update here. People usually like to see these charts. This is just a logarithmic regression fit to non-bubble data. And again, we've said that this regression equation is fairly dubious just because there's not a whole lot of data to even fit it to. One argument could be made that it should not be fit to this region right here, since this was in the middle of a market cycle, and that it maybe should look like this, where it's just fit to this region. But I really don't have enough data to go on yet. And for that reason, I don't really anticipate changing it anytime soon. But maybe if we undergo, say, another market cycle, and we can really see what the macroscopic picture is, then maybe it'd be worth refitting. But for now, our fair valuation line is this green line that's going through the middle, and these are our uncertainty bands in terms of, okay, this is probably where you should be accumulating Ethereum. Not that this is financial advice, but in general, these are the regions of accumulation. You can see that we've just gotten to our fair valuation. So our fair valuation of Ethereum at present day is around $250. And that's essentially where the price of Ethereum is. If we were to go to the top of the band, which by the way increases monotonically, so the top of the band here, or let's say the top of the band in 2018 was $100, but the top of the band in 2020 is $300. So if we were to go to the top of the band, say today, then if this is 200, so this would be 300. So it might be around 400, a little over $400 if we were to go back to the top of the band in the short term. So keep this chart in mind. Just stick it in your back pocket. We're obviously gonna continue making videos on it. Again, subscribe to the channel if you guys like it and want to see updates. Would appreciate that. I also wanted to remind you guys just of our expansion and contraction. So first, because we have a lot more data for it, this is Bitcoin. We know that we have our expansion phases and our contraction phases, and the contraction phases are getting longer. You can see 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years. And we're hopefully expecting to see that, starting from 2020 or 2021, for this to be the first, part of our expansion phase that'll take us out several years. And this is ultimately what I would expect, either this being the low, and note that these are the minimum, maximum, and average values of Ethereum annually. So it's granulated annually so that it kind of helps reduce the noise and you can see the macroscopic picture. Now for Ethereum, obviously we don't have as much information, but you can see basically the same type of structure, our expansion phase, our contraction phase, and the projection of our next expansion phase taking us out to 2023 with the Bitcoin expansion contraction phases inset in the bottom right hand corner for comparison. So I hope this is informative. I would like to take a minute before we jump into TradingView to just remind you that if you want to join the premium list, you can do so at intothecryptoverse.com. We have a weekly premium video, so if you guys like these videos, want to see more of them, where I go a lot more in depth, I give you my candid thoughts on the state of the market. A lot of it's backed up with data science. It's not just, oh, this is how I feel today. It's, we talk about the models, we talk about the risk, we talk about, statistically speaking, the best hour and days to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more. And then we also, we just recently added, we have a Google Sheets dashboard, and on that dashboard we added a way for you to help visualize your selling strategy for the upcoming bull market. So far we have it for Bitcoin, but I'm going to be looking to add Ethereum to that as well in the coming week. And this way you can help visualize what a projected selling strategy might accomplish. Because there's so many people that think, okay, I have to hold and hold and hold to the very end of the bubble, as if you know when that is. But I would encourage you that if you really struggle to have a plan and you want something a little bit more concrete, then check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. And if you would like to pay for more than a month at a time, you can pay for 6 or 12 months with crypto and get a 5 to 10 or maybe 11 or 12% discount, something like that. So check it out. Would love to have you join. And I'll see you guys there. You'll get a welcome email that'll take you to all the prior reports and all the prior videos So would love to have you, would love to see you join. Finally, let's just jump into the trading view stuff. So again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. But you'll quickly learn that I will talk your ear off about the 20-week moving average being the support during a bull run, which helps you understand the prior charts and why we talk about the 20-week moving average a lot. And the Ethereum chart has been continuing to move up, and especially recently, once Bitcoin broke through that 20-week moving average, a while back, a few weeks ago, Ethereum has been continuing to just go up and up and up, and currently it's sitting just south of $240. I would like to show you guys, this is the chart I showed on a live stream that I did the other day. We don't talk about monthly moving averages that often, and this one actually, this chart that I happened to pull up doesn't go back as far as I would like it to. But essentially you can see the 20-month moving average. Now, is the 20-month moving average significant? I can't really say how significant it is, but if you look at it, it's interesting that it held support here at the very, back in December of 2017, before Ethereum went on that final run with respect to Bitcoin and with respect to fiat. And then it came back down, held it as support, popped back up, and then ultimately fell below. And we've been below it ever since. Now, the interesting thing is that each candle, so each wick of each candle has gone basically directly to that 20-month moving average. So if we zoom in, it's kind of hard to see. Let me move myself over here. So it's not exact, right? And it depends on which exchange you're looking at. For instance, this one we're looking at Coinbase. But if you look, you can see that our primary resistance area in terms of all these wicks and candles has been the 20-month moving average. Well, the 20-month moving average, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, is 0.02559. So that's where it currently is, 0.02559. The current Ethereum Bitcoin valuation is 0.02533. So we are very close to that milestone. And what would be interesting is to see what's going to happen. Are we going to pop above this and then really move up quickly? Because this is certainly a possibility if Bitcoin remains bullish going into the summer. And I think it really could be Ethereum's time to shine, especially if we can stay above the 20-week moving average in the short term, continue holding it, just stay general healthy bull market, then it makes me think there's a good chance that we push through this. It's possible that we hold it as resistance and then come back down and test it again later on. But I just want you to be aware that this does exist. And again, I can't really comment too much on the validity of it. I mean, these could just be coincidences, but it's at least something to watch, because we are getting close to that 20-month moving average of 0.02559, and currently we're at 0.02533. So we're about, so basically the difference between 59 and 33, so 26. So not too much further to go in terms of getting to that Bitcoin valuation at the 20-month moving average. So keep that in mind. Let's pull up the weekly chart, which is typically what we look at. And we also showed this a few days ago as well. It seems like we're continuing to move up quite easily over the last few weeks. I wasn't sure if this area here might hold some type of resistance. I mean, I really don't like drawing trend lines in general because it's so easy to just later redraw them and say, oh well, there's wiggle room. I've heard people say wiggle room, and you could obviously just say, oh, it's down to probabilities. We look at that. But the issue I find is that if we were to draw a line, you can easily you can always just slightly redraw things to fit whatever narrative that you want to tell. And that's why I typically do not draw lines. And if you were just to draw a line from, say, the top of the body of the candle to this candle, we've obviously broken that trend already. So again, Bitcoin stays where it is or goes up. Hopefully Ethereum is going to keep pace with it and continue moving up itself. If we kind of look at our recent history here, you can see that we've been continuing to just basically just move up. So we'll continue following Ethereum, not only with respect to fiat, but with respect to Bitcoin. I know you guys like these videos where I talk about this, where you guys also get the data science perspective, not just trading view, but you also get to see, some other custom type stuff. And again, I'll remind you that if you like the channel and you want to see more of it, then subscribe. We currently have around 20,000 people. In about 10 days or so, the channel will officially be 1 year old. So I'm pretty excited about that. Maybe we can get to 21,000 by that time. And so it's kind of a milestone I've set for myself in lieu of the total supply of Bitcoin being 21 million. So I've kind of set that as hopefully I can get to 21,000 subscribers by June 13th, because I think it's on June 13th that I will be at the channel will be at 1 year old. So with all that said, again, check out Telegram. We have over 3,500 people. We're looking to add a new admin to the channel once we get to 4,000 members. And if you want to join the premium list, remember you can do that at intothecryptoverse.com, and you'll basically get bombarded with a ton of data. And if you just take the time to go through all of this data that you get sent in the welcome email, I think it's going to be very beneficial for your accumulation strategy over the next several years, and also in the manner in which you sell. Because whether you follow my strategy or not, you need a strategy to follow. And if you want to make your own, I would encourage you to do that. If you want to follow mine, I would encourage you to sign up to the premium list. And I think that'll wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.